The Nintendo Switch is a powerful game console that packs a surprising amount of technology into a tiny package. If tiny packages do it for you, that is. Whether you were an early adopter or you recently went out and picked up a Switch, there's a good chance you haven't taken advantage of all the unique features Nintendo has packed into this machine. Before we dive in, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all our videos. Okay, let's take a look at 10 Nintendo Switch tips and tricks you probably didn't know. Use a USB keyboard. Sure, you can use a game controller to type words, names, email addresses, and passwords into a game console. You can also dig a trench with a soup spoon. Yeah, it's gonna take a little while. The thing is, you probably wouldn't want to. You'd want to use a shovel, like a rational human being, or a front-end loader, whatever. For every job, there's the perfect tool, and if the job is typing text on a screen, a game controller is just about the furthest thing from a perfect tool as you can get. Wouldn't it be great if you could use a real physical keyboard to type words on your Switch? As it turns out, you can. Who would have thunk it? Just plug a standard USB keyboard into your Switch and anytime a text field with a keyboard appears on screen, you can type on the physical keyboard and the text will appear on the screen. Voila! It's like a computer, but it plays Nintendo games. This is useful whenever you need to enter long, complicated passwords or type your address and credit card information into the eShop. It's great for adding text to any screenshots you take before posting them to social media. And once an MMO hits the Switch, it'll become even more useful as it'll let teams chat and strategize without having to peck each key individually with the Joy-Con. That's my own personal hell right there. So if you enter a lot of text into your Switch, think about getting a USB keyboard to make your life easier. Browse the internet. Let's say you're playing Super Mario Odyssey and you're struggling to find the last moon in a level. Or maybe you're stuck on a puzzle in Breath of the Wild and it's driving you crazy. When you need a little hint, or you just want to check your email, it helps if the device in front of you comes with Internet Browser. Unfortunately, the Switch doesn't have an app that lets you surf the web. Or does it? Dun dun dun! The Switch comes with a very limited browser that seems to be intended mostly to let players log into public Wi-Fi hotspots. You know, the ones that make you click a button before letting you on the network. But if you go into the Switch's user settings and click to link your Facebook account, you can actually navigate to Facebook proper by clicking any link on the page. Now that you're in Facebook, you can browse around to your heart's content. Oh, what a cute cat. To get a mouse cursor, just press on the left analog stick and one will appear. Unfortunately, you can't use this method to visit any URL of your choice, but you can still see what your friends are up to on Facebook and navigate to any pages you find linked from your homepage. That's something, right? So even if you can't find a guide for the game you're currently playing on the Switch, you can still browse Facebook between Mario sessions. Pair a Joy-Con with your phone or computer. The Nintendo Switch is quickly becoming one of the best video game platforms on the market. From Mario and Zelda to ARMS and Splatoon, the Switch has a sizable library of killer games that could take you years to complete if you wanted to play them all. And who has that much time anyways? But suppose you've breezed through all your Switch games or you just want to play the hot new game on your phone or computer. Thanks to the Joy-Con's Bluetooth capabilities, you don't need to put down your Switch controller to do it. All you need to do is tell your PC, Mac, or Android phone to search for a Bluetooth peripheral. Then press the sync button on your Joy-Cons to have it look for new connections. Once the two devices find one another, you're good to go. The only catch is you have to be playing a compatible game for your Joy-Con to work. On Android, games like Minecraft, Final Fantasy, and the Grand Theft Auto series are compatible. Most PC games don't natively recognize Joy-Cons as controllers, but you can sidestep this issue by using a program called Joy2Key. It lets you map your Joy-Con's buttons to mouse and keyboard inputs. It's a brave new world out there for gamers, so grab a Joy-Con and start playing games on your phone or tablet. See how long you've played a game. When you love a game, it's easy to spend dozens or even hundreds of hours exploring every inch of the digital landscape it contains. Like Super Mario Odyssey, I've been playing for days. Oh, wait, don't I have a job? But when you play, time can slip away and you can lose track of just how much of your life you've spent playing the game. Some games have built-in timers to keep track of your playtime, but many don't. On another gaming system, that might mean there's no way to see how much time you've spent playing any given game. But the Switch's operating system keeps track of your hours, regardless of whether the game itself offers that information. Whether that makes you feel good or feel bad about yourself, hey, that's up to you. To see your playtime, go to your profile and scroll through your play activity. There you'll see how much games you've played and how long you've spent playing them. The only catch is that it won't show you this information until you've had the game for 10 days. Who knows why that is, but during that time it just tells you how many days ago you first played the game. Once you've had the game a week and a half though, it starts showing you your actual playtime. You can even check in on how many hours your friends have played their Switch games. Simply go to your friends list and select one of your friends. You'll see pretty much the same information shown on your profile. Turn on your TV. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a major inconvenience to power on your television or change inputs. Hey, what are we, cavemen? There are more pressing issues in life than lifting a remote and tapping a button or two, or are there? Even so, if your Switch could automatically turn on your TV and go to whatever input it's set up on when you want to play, that would be nice, wouldn't it? As you've probably guessed by now, your Switch can in fact control your TV's power and input. That is, assuming your TV has a feature called HDMI CEC, which most modern TVs have. The Switch feature is actually turned on by default, so you don't even have to do anything to make it happen. It's magic. Just power up your Switch with the TV off, and the Switch will take things from there. Now will it go get me groceries? You can use the time you save by making yourself a sandwich or grabbing another Mountain Dew. It's convenient, right? On the other hand, if it bothers you that your Switch takes control of your television, you can always turn the feature off. To do so, just go to the system settings, scroll down to TV settings, and turn off the feature called Match TV Power State. You're free to do that, but just know that you'll have to press the buttons yourself going forward, and it's a struggle. And who wants to press unnecessary buttons when you could be doing literally anything else? Use another region's eShop. One cool thing you might not know about the Nintendo Switch is that it can't be contained by anything so flimsy as a country's borders. That's right, the Switch is region-free. Region-free, baby! In previous console generations, if you bought a game from Japan or Europe, for instance, it wouldn't work on a console sold in the US. That's because consoles were region-locked. Well, not anymore. That's not the case this generation on Xbox One, PS4, or Nintendo Switch. So no matter where in the world you buy a Switch game, it will work on your Switch, whether you bought it in South Dakota or Sweden. The game might be in a different language, but you know, buyer beware and all that. What, you don't know Swedish? The region-free thing isn't limited to physical copies of games either. It works for digital games on the eShop as well, which means you don't actually have to travel to Japan or pay huge shipping fees to play games that exclusively come out in Japan. All you have to do is create a Japanese eShop account, buy the game, and you're good to go. To do that, you first have to create a new Nintendo account and tell it that you're in the Japanese region. Next, grab your Switch and create a new user. Link that user to your new Nintendo account and you're in business. What's the Japanese word for business? Now just open up the eShop app as a new user and you're ready to buy any Japanese game you want. See what's on sale in the eShop. Gaming is an expensive pastime. Just ask my bank account. Not only do you need to drop a couple $100s on a shiny new game console, or maybe even a new TV, but you also need to load it up with games. AAA games usually retail for $60 nowadays, but with things like season passes and loot boxes, they've gotten really good at vacuuming even more money out of your wallet after you buy them. Hey, we're looking at you, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Loot boxes. And let's not even get into the collector's editions, which can cost hundreds of dollars, depending on what items are included in the box. On the plus side, games usually go on sale pretty often. If only there were a way to see which games are on sale at any given time. Well, on the Switch, there is. Just make sure you're connected to the internet, then open the eShop app. On the sidebar to the left, you'll find a whole category devoted to games that are currently on sale. It tells you the original asking price, plus the current sale price. Holy cheap games, Batman! You can even make a wish list on the eShop to help keep track of the games you want to buy at a later date. While you won't get a notification when your wish list goes on sale, like you will on Steam, you can still compare the two lists on a regular basis. That way you'll always know when a game you've had your eye on goes on sale. Charge it with a battery pack. There's nothing more frustrating than getting in the zone while playing your favorite game, only to be greeted by a low battery warning. No! If you're playing on the go, it's just game over when your Switch runs out of juice. And on the Switch, that happens more quickly than on most other devices. After all, it takes a lot of power to put full console quality games on a handheld. According to Nintendo's official claims, most players can expect a fully charged Switch to last between 2.5 and 6 hours, depending on things like screen brightness and how demanding your game is. With games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can't play for more than 3 hours without having to charge up. If you found yourself running out of battery on the Switch, here's some good news. You don't need to be near a power outlet to charge your console. Thanks to the Switch's handy USB-C port, you can use a standard external battery to pump more juice into your machine. If you'd rather not carry an extra gadget around with you, you might want to consider buying a Switch case with a built-in battery pack. These devices add weight and thickness to your Switch, but they'll let you play much longer than you could otherwise. Just don't forget to charge your battery pack before leaving the house. Skip the user selection screen. If multiple people in your house like to play games on the Nintendo Switch, the user selection screen is a useful feature. It lets different users keep separate save files and individual friends lists. It's thanks to the user selection screen that your annoying brother won't spend all your rupees in Zelda or save over your progress in Skyrim. But if you're the only person in the house who ever uses a Switch, it's kind of frustrating to have to select yourself as a user each time you hop into a game. Why the Switch asks who's playing when only one user is registered on the device is anyone's guess, but that's the way it is. That's how Nintendo built the software, so we're stuck dealing with it until and unless they change it with an update that may or may not ever come. Thankfully, there's a workaround to this issue. Go to the home screen and click your way into the system settings. Once there, select Users and then turn on the Skip Selection Screen feature. Now, when you open up an app or play a game, you'll get to breeze past the annoying user selection step and start playing right away. And you know what that means? You get to spend less time fiddling with menus and more time playing the Nintendo Switch games. That's basically the dictionary definition of a win-win, right? Locate lost controllers. Losing a bad habit is a good thing. Losing a TV remote is just plain annoying. But losing a video game controller is the worst. It can render your whole game console useless, and thanks to the Switch's tiny size, it's all too easy to lose those little Joy-Con controllers. Maybe it fell between the couch cushions or knocked under the coffee table. Maybe the dog thought it was a toy and ran off with it. Where are you going with that, Rex? Who knows where that little piece of technology wound up? Narnia, maybe. Who knows? However it happened, you're now short a Joy-Con, which means you either have to tear apart your house to try and find it or buy an expensive replacement. Thankfully, the Switch's 3.0 update includes a feature that helps you find those long-lost controllers. It even works with the Pro controller or any other Switch controller for that matter. To use the Find a Controller feature, just go to Controllers on the main Switch menu and select Find Controllers. You'll get a prompt asking which controller is lost. Click it, and as long as the controller is in range, it'll start vibrating like crazy. It keeps going as long as you press the button and the controller has battery power. As it vibrates, you can find it by sound or, if it's under your couch cushion, by feel. Even if your controller isn't lost, you can use this feature to work out the knots in your muscles. Or a nice night with the wife. Who needs a masseuse anyway? The Nintendo Switch may seem like a somewhat bare-bones piece of hardware compared to the competition, but it actually packs a lot of cool features. If you know of any other cool tips and tricks, be sure to let us know in the comments below.